Everyone is freaking out about the engineering behind this, of how this was constructed, 0 corners in the entire building. And today, I'm going inside.
I love it.
The most impressive ones I've been to. Awe-inspiring, really.
It's called the Museum of the Future, it's in Dubai, and it feels like I've jumped 50 years ahead of time. The feeling of being in a room like this, it represents the best of humankind. It explores science and spirituality, ecosystems, and clean energy. Feeling therapy. But what does its shape mean? And what is 2071 going to be like? This is the future. What's up, guys? Today I'm going inside the Museum of the Future here in Dubai. It took 6 years to build. And this right here is meant to look like an eye looking into the future, hence the name Museum of the Future. Let's go check it out. It's already become one of the most unique and creative buildings on Earth because it's built more than 250 feet high without the use of a single column. Remember, there are no corners here. It has more than 1,000 panels, in fact 1,024 panels to be exact, which represent the 1,024 bytes in a kilobyte. Its panels are filled with quotes written in Arabic, and they're written by the leaders of the UAE. Quotes like, "The future belongs to those who can imagine it, design it, and execute it." Everything here is designed either from the present standpoint or looking toward the future. There is no looking back in this museum. Oh, and don't be fooled by its name because it's actually much more than a museum. It's a place that brings scholars, climate innovations, and insanely cool technology together. And it's a place that will incubate ideas with the goal of putting Dubai 10 years ahead of other developed cities. So what is the experience of the museum actually like? Well, overall it's 7 floors, and you start by getting in this elevator. It's the largest elevator in the Middle East. It can hold up to 80 people. This brings you to level 5, which feels like you're in space. Here you learn about life aboard a huge space station in the year 2071. An avatar guides us through the experience. Next, on level 4, you go to what's called a Vault of Life. This is meant to represent a tropical rainforest. It's actually a digital recreation in part of the Amazon. In this room, there are 2,000 species that are used on different experiments. And let me just say, the feeling of being in a room like this is unlike anything I've experienced before. And it also has a hopeful message that each of us can have impact. The observatory is where they are actually designing and growing new species. And here you can see what they're designing, what they're growing, and some of these have already been implemented in our ecosystem. Next, you go to level 3. This one might be my favorite. It's all about your well-being. It's meant to detach you from technology so you can focus on yourself using a combination of science and spirituality. So in theory, I'm still in 2071, and this is talking about depression. This says that in 2030, depression will pass obesity as the world's greatest health risk. What will save our sense and what will save our spirit is human bonds, sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Next, you head down to the 2nd floor, which brings you from 2071 back to present day. Here you learn about the tech that's increasing our standard of living and lowering the impact on our environment. This tackles factors like waste management, environmental issues, food security, and city planning. We're all familiar with electric vehicles, but still, with an electric vehicle, you need to take the car and plug it in to give it charge, to give it battery. But the future could actually be a wireless charging track. So imagine a car getting its power from the track, getting its power from the road that it's continuously driving on. It never needs to stop and take a break to charge up. In 8 years from now, 25% of all vehicles in Dubai are going to be autonomous, self-driving cars. Imagine that you can fly to work. Well, with this jet suit, you pretty much can. They've already just launched a version of this jet suit last year, so this is something to look out for. Sounds fun, exciting, but also a little bit terrifying too. I know what you're thinking. Why would I want an electronic dog? Isn't the point of having a dog for love and affection and those licks on your face? This dog is actually not really meant to be man's best friend. This dog is meant to interact with its environment, and it can actually be programmed for different things like surveying a dangerous mine or helping doctors connect with patients remotely. It can also respond to voice commands just like your human dog hopefully can. So you can tell it, "Hey Max, over here." Finally, the bottom level is designed for children, to encourage younger minds to learn about the world. When I hear the word museum, I think about history, but this isn't a place for looking to the past. This is a place that is not only preparing for the future, it's quite literally being created here. And to actually walk through it is a reminder to me that creativity and imagination are great, but when ideas are actually executed on like this, well, that is pretty damn inspiring.